My name is Jamie Dicker, and I am the videographer for this speech, and here is our audience.
When we think of history of fighting in the West, most of us will remember old-fashioned cowboys who fight Indians. Most will not even envision dark-skinned warriors. Hi, I'm Connor Erikson, and I'll be talking about the Buffalo Soldiers. When we think of fighting in the West, we think of typical Caucasian cowboys. Not many envision dark-skinned, curly-haired soldiers. Although Buffalo Soldiers were not mentioned or even remembered as much as typical cowboys, they were the most fierce and unique cavalry in history. Who were the Buffalo Soldiers and what made them so unique? They were the first all-black cavalry, and most of them were uneducated slaves. They had dark, curly hair, and it reminded people of a buffalo. There were no really reasons on why they were named the Buffalo Soldiers, but there were speculations such as because of their dark curly hair, or the Indians called them Buffalo Soldiers because they fought fiercely. They wore unique clothing, such as a robe made from American bison hide, and later wore a red and white patch with a buffalo on it on their uniform. They were really brave and courageous warriors, and they had the lowest amount of desertion and court-martial. They were established in 1866 following the Civil War. The law authorized the army to create all-black regiments, and there were 6 regiments, but later reduced to 4. The regiments that were created were the 9th and 10th Cavalry and the 24th and 25th Infantry. They were not treated equally because of their color, and they were given bad equipment such as deteriorating weapons, old horses, and low supplies. Civilians did not accept them because of how they looked and how they felt about them, and they weren't really sure on how they could trust them. But they were led by white soldiers, but there were exceptions such as 3 West Point graduates named Henry Flibber, John Alexander, and Charles Young. I found this in the National Museum of African American.com. They had many tasks, such as to help rebuild the country after the Civil War, protect land occupied by Indians, protect settlers, and escorting stagecoaches, wagons, and railroad crews, and acting as first caretakers at national parks. The Buffalo Soldiers had many military alternative contributions, including but not limited to the following. In 1866, the 9th Cavalry took residence in New Orleans, Louisiana, and their mission was to secure the road from San Antonio to El Paso to maintain order in areas destroyed by the Indians. In 1886, the 10th Cavalry was ordered to Fort Riley, Kansas, and they were sent there to protect the Pacific Railroad. The 9th and 10th Cavalry participated in multiple battles in the Indian War, and while the Americans were attempting to rebuild. The 10th Cavalry was part of a team who rescued Lieutenant Colonel George Alexander Forsyth, and they also fought along Theodore Roosevelt and his Rough Raiders. The Buffalo Soldiers had a lot of accomplishments, including earning 17 Medals of Honor and fighting wildfires and poachers. Do y'all have any questions? Yes.
Have you ever been to the museum?
I have never been there, but I would like to go there sometime next year. So, yes.
Why were they established?
They were mostly established to help our people because they couldn't really find enough people to fight in a war and to rebuild the country. Yes.
What happened to them? How did they disband?
I don't really know, but I don't think they ever really disbanded. They didn't fight in any more wars because of their age. So
Are there any national days or events to honor these men that served?
I don't think so, but it's just because nobody really knows who they are because they're not talked about a lot. So, yes.
How did you find out about them? And why did you want to talk about them?
I found out about them on the list, but I really wanted to talk about them because I enjoy history, and I thought it would be pretty interesting to learn about them and to see what they did and see what they accomplished.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.